All right, next in our series for foam rolling is going to be covering our back today, as well as the base of our neck. So just like our other videos, I want to talk about some do's and don'ts in terms of anatomy. So what we're going to go over is the anatomy of our back here. One thing that we're never going to roll is our low back directly. And the way I want you to kind of identify this area on you is to feel for those upper hip bones. Place the edge of your pointer finger on those hip bones and then cup your hands around that. The area here that your hands are cupping is where you are not going to be rolling. And the reason why is because we have floating ribs that are down in this area. So I want you to be very mindful of that. We are going to be rolling up into our neck area. So another landmark for you to find is C7. Your cervical vertebrae, number 7, is that bony knob. Let's see if I can pull my shirt down there a little. That bony knob here at the base of your neck. So that is C7. Lastly, when we focus on our neck rolling, we're going to be working our suboccipital muscles. So if you tilt your head back and put your thumbs together, back behind your neck, that crease that's created is the base of your skull, and that is the notch that we're going to be focusing on. So your suboccipital groove there. And we're going to be rolling up onto the base of the head. So this whole base of the skull area, we're going to be rolling, as well as your mastoid process. So if you feel just below your ear, there's a nice bony knob directly behind it. I am not into the neck. I am still on my head. That is your mastoid process. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get ready to roll the neck, but those are your bony landmarks for today. To start on the foam roller, today we're back to our grid roller. I can handle a lot more pressure on my back. In fact, I love this. This is my go-to roller for my back. We're going to start perpendicular on the foam roller. So let me make sure that we're in the camera here. Because we never roll on that low back, you're going to sit, a good 12 inches or so back from your foam roller, and you're going to gently lower yourself back onto the roller where you think you might want to start. For me, this is just below or just south of my shoulder blades. My backside and my feet are flat on the ground. So this first motion that we do is going to be for folks who might not have a lot of mobility, or folks who don't think that they're going to be able to support their full body weight up onto the foam roller. The motion that we're going to do, think of a nice, slow figure 8 motion. And for me, I tend to find if I have my hands up like I'm going to guard as if I'm boxing, just a good place to keep my hands. And I'm allowing my back to kind of figure 8 and walk that roller across my back. Again, nice and slow. If we're looking to target fascia, we can speed it up. Little figure 8s if we're looking to work the muscle. Slow and fast. This is great, again, for folks who are just starting out or who might not be able to support their whole body weight on the foam roller. So that's a figure 8 motion. If we're going to get ready to bridge our whole body up onto the roller, our feet are flat on the ground. Our hands are going to go back behind our head to support our body weight of our head in our hands, and we're going to bridge up. So as I bring my body nice and parallel to our perpendicular roller, I'm going to generate motion from my feet and just allow my upper body to roll. Right now I'm on my shoulders, to roll across that roller. If we need to let our body down to reposition, we can certainly move that roller. Again, as I start, I am not on my low back. I can fit my full palm back there, supporting my head and rolling across my back. Remembering that nice and slow rolling focuses on fascia. Quicker rolling, not that I would ever want to see anybody going super crazy fast. This faster rolling targets muscle. Now, if you have an area on your back that needs a little bit deeper pressure, the way we would provide that in a more specific pinpointed area is by doing about almost a half of a sit-up. So if our normal rolling is a full flat bridge, I would just curl up a little bit. Again, I can rock back side and side, or I can roll back and forth. So again, flat foam rolling, versus a slight sit up. And that sit up is just enough to give us a little bit more body weight on that targeted area on that foam roller. Next, what we're going to do is a little bit more of a balance type challenge. It's definitely a little bit more advanced, but I also find in some ways it can actually be a little bit more relaxing as well. So give it a try, see if it's for you. We are going to bring the foam roller parallel to our body. I am long in the torso, so if you are tall or long in the torso too, you might find that these end parts might be a little bit less comfortable for you, just because this is going to be pushing into the top of your hips a little bit. This is going to be inadvertently also pushing into the base of your head a little bit. Play around with your position on the roller to see what's comfortable for you. So as we get up on the roller, I'm going to start just by sitting on it. I'm going to allow the bottom portion of that roller to be at the top of my hips. The top part of this roller here is just at the base of my head. I'm not uncomfortable. I could probably lay here for a good few minutes and nice and relaxed. But I am nice and centered on that roller. So I'm right over my spine. I'm keeping a neutral curve to my low back, and I'm just allowing my body to rest on this foam roller. So what we can do if we want to challenge our balance a little bit is we can lift both arms off of the ground. We can wave them up and down to challenge the abs. If you're more advanced or you want to kick it up a notch, you can lift up one leg, lift up one arm, hold that, or you can certainly lift them both up and down nice and slow as well. And of course you can alternate sides and play with that. If you're looking to get a little bit more of a specific shoulder foam rolling for your shoulder with this, I'm going to roll to my right so that the foam roller is focusing on my left side. The foam roller is, the bottom of the foam roller here is at the top of my left cheek. I'm allowing the left side of the back of my head to rest on that foam roller, but the foam roller is off my spine. It's between my spine and my shoulder blade. You've got a nice 2 to 3 inch space there depending on your body size. And what this next exercise is going to do is to focus on our shoulders. So my right hand over here is flat on the floor. My feet are also flat on the floor, supporting my body weight. And I can just isolate this shoulder, the rhomboid area, the middle traps, a little bit of the upper traps, not a ton, but just doing shoulder circles there, adjusting my position, rolling the roller closer to my left side, finding where it feels right. We can also do like a half snow angel motion with my arm. So bringing that arm up and bringing it back down to my hip and repeating. That's a great way to provide some body pressure on this foam roller there between my shoulder blade and my spine. So if you get a lot of tension, a lot of stress between your shoulder blades, this is a great exercise for you. Another option for you is to go palm down on the floor. Again, right now I'm focusing on my left side. Palm is down on the floor. I'm going to bring that arm up directly over my head and bring it back down. This is one of my favorites. I can feel this one between my shoulder blade and my spine pretty good. And so what my arm is doing is creating kind of that grind and that roll for me. This is just another alternative way to use the foam roller between our shoulder blades and to do some focused shoulder work. So again, just to go and recap the shoulder work, if I'm focused on the left side, the roller is between my spine and shoulder blade. I can either isolate by doing shoulder rolling, isolate by doing half of a snow angel, or I can isolate by bringing my palm to the ground and bringing my arm over my head. Just like that. Okay, in order to dismount, I'm going to gently roll off the back side of that roller and just bring myself next to it. Lastly, what I wanted to show you was how to focus on the back of our neck. So if I go ahead and I use that foam roller as a pillow, you can have your feet flat on the floor. You can bring your legs nice and low and just lay on the ground. I tend to like to lay nice and flat. I feel like it's elongating me. But the area that I'm focusing on the back of my neck is the suboccipital region. And this area can be kind of tense on a lot of folks that do desk work. This area makes you very prone to having headaches. A lot of migraines come from this area. So this is a great area to work. So what I would have you do, again, the foam roller is not on the curve of my neck. The foam roller is on that groove that we found with our thumbs together. And if you need to refine that, bend your neck backwards, allow your thumbs to take on that crevice that your neck creates, and that is the ridge that the foam roller is sitting on. So it is sitting on the base of my skull. Just sitting here alone, letting the weight of my head sink into that foam roller, I can feel that there's a nice pressure there. I can actually feel some of those areas shoot into my eyes a little bit. I'm pretty migraine prone from these areas. These are our rock and tilt muscles, our yes and no muscles for our neck. So naturally, if we go yes and no across these muscles, rotating all the way out to that mastoid process, that skull bone just below your ear, doing a little bit of rocking side to side, up and down, yes, no. This is a great little tool. And just like any other foam rolling, we don't want to overdo it. So we're going to get off the foam roller again when it's like, okay, that feels good. I've got those muscles worked out, but not too much to where they're going to be sore. So those are just a few ways for you to use your foam roller for your back, your shoulder muscles, and the base of your neck. Again, that suboccipital region. I certainly urge you to play around with it, see what's comfortable for you. And if you have any questions, just leave us some comments below. Again, I'd love to see what kind of tools you guys are using as well, whether it's a grid roller or the high density foam black roller, or even something different. I'm always curious to see what's out there on the market that folks are using. So enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon for more foam rolling.